Now, as you guys know, when I was a kid, I benefited from communism. I didn't actually grow up in communism, but the culture didn't change that much. And one of the things that communists amply provided was wealth extraction and giving you the middle finger, right? So, like, they would take from everyone, but when it came to equally distributing, they would give you the middle finger. And if you complained, they would use violence against you. Which is why we actually did not have any lunches at school. Um, is that unusual? Apparently, a lot of Westerners just can't conceive this. But yes, like when I was a kid, I would eat in the morning when I got up. I would get up around 7. I would have a quick breakfast, and then I would go to school up until 2 p.m., maybe sometimes 3 p.m., and then I would come home. I would eat dinner at home at around 4, and then I would have the supper at around 8 p.m. And I didn't die. I didn't find it insufferable. I didn't find it to be difficult. Now, some classmates would actually have a sandwich from home. So, like, they would have a lunchbox from their parents and they would eat at school. I just didn't feel the need. I wasn't that hungry. I got adjusted with the thing. But for some reason now, it seems that Westerners believe that unless the government takes money from people and gives it to others through school lunch programs, then there's going to be a famine in the country. Then kids are just going to become malnourished. There is no other option. There is no other way. And unless you have, like, the government paying for kids' lunches, then there's going to be, like, a Lysenkoism-induced famine. So I find this to be hilarious. Like, every single time they bring it up, I find it absolutely amusing. Because, again, I'm thinking about my childhood, and I'm like, wow. Like, I must have been, like, a Spartan child. Like, I was born through the most difficult time imaginable. And now I'm probably like Conan the Barbarian compared to your kids. Like I'm probably just used to the harshest life ever possible. Like, if the apocalypse comes, I know that I will survive. But this weak new generation can't, right? Like, this must be what people think. I can't explain it any other way. But anyway, right? We got this article, which leftists are sharing with glee, to the point where it gets on my timeline. Like, as you get to see, it's got 7 million views. And it's part of, the weird saga, right? Like, every single journalist now worth his salt needs to write an article about how Trump is weird. Like, there's something weird about J.D. Vance. Something weird about Trump. Again, we live in the age where men can get pregnant, but the weirdness is in the fact that Trump's son, Barron Trump, doesn't want to eat at school. Like, this is what journalists find weird, right? Like, these are very hyper-intelligent people that got educated and then went to a university and got a journalist degree. I mean, these are some of the smartest minds that America can produce, and yet they find it weird that the son of a multimillionaire prefers to eat at home, where he's got a chef and he's got an entire staff and a team of people that are dedicated in the art of cooking, instead of actually eating at school. Now, truth be told, they're not implying that it's weird. They are quoting someone, right? But you gotta understand how journalists work. Like, if you have 50 quotes, you get to pick and choose the ones you want. So they decided to pick. He never specifically said why, just that he would wait until he got home to eat. It was a little unusual. Again, how is it unusual for one of the richest people on the planet, whose father builds skyscrapers for a living, to want to eat home? Like, can anyone explain to me why that is unusual? And not to mention, I'm genuinely curious, like, what type of school they went to, because even now, when you have, like, public lunches, I'm pretty sure that the rich kids, the wealthy ones, they can choose not to eat at school, and they can choose to just go out and buy their own food or buy their own stuff. I mean, when we were at the university, we had the university cafeteria where I would eat. But I also had colleagues that were wealthy and they were rich, and they wouldn't eat at the cafeteria. They would go out and either eat at home, or they would choose to go out to a restaurant that was nearby and eat there. Was it unusual? No, they were wealthy, so they could afford it. So I wouldn't find that to be unusual. But again, it's part of this saga, right? Like, it's this mindset. Everything about right-wingers now is weird and unusual. It is almost like creepy. Look at them. They do not want to eat from the school cafeteria. So bizarre. And the article, like, mysterious. Barron Trump eschewed school sports, dances, yearbook classmates. Oh my goodness, he didn't want to stay in school. That is mysterious. Like, can you guys understand? By the way, what's really weird is that you're forcing the young generation into this educational system so that you cut them off from the workplace and you lower the unemployment by doing so. Like, normally, on our grandparents' generation, at 18, you could get a job. And with that job, you could support the family. Now, I don't know, like, I generally think that the purpose of work is to make money and support the family. But what's weird is that that is not the case now. Now is the case that everybody, yes, every single person needs to have a university, whether they need it or not. They need to go into student debt so that the future generation pays for it, whether they like it or not. And you have, like, all these people that go to university and they get these degrees that are completely useless and they can't do anything with them, and they lost 5 years of their life. They lost all of this money and now they're stuck in debt. And you just did it so you can keep them from getting a job. Now that is fucking weird. That is very weird. And they're not going to address the fact that you have, like, kids that are going to school and they're spending 8 hours at school, right? 8 hours of their life, learning shit that they will never need. And then when they get home, they have homework and study to do. So another 8 hours. So you're basically asking them to be like factory workers of old. Like, this is what I really despised about school. Like, for instance, I was learning arts and music, and I never used that craft. I never applied arts and music. Ever. Or you learn about physics, and it's not just, like, the basics of physics so you can understand it. No, like, just advanced shit. Same with chemistry. Like, I never used anorganic chemistry for anything. But you gotta sit your ass in a bench and learn this shit. Again, 8 hours a day, whether you like it or not. And then you go home and you have to study for another 6-7 hours. And that's your childhood fucking gone. That is fucking weird. That genuinely is weird, and there's no conversation about it. Instead, we're talking about, oh no, like, the school lunches. Oh, what are we going to do? I don't know. If you don't like it, buy your kid a lunch meal. Like, buy a lunchbox. Like, how much do they eat? Give them some sandwiches. That's how my generation went. And I don't think, like, my generation was filled with Conan the Barbarians and people from Fallout. We had a good childhood, believe it or not, except for the schooling system. My God, I fucking hated it. I was so happy when I actually got to university. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.